business news with our business editor, Stephen Carroll. Hi, Stephen.
Hello, Catherine.
And we're going to start this time with some news on the French economy.
Yeah, that's right. The country's current account deficit, that measures the cash flows in and out of the economy, mainly imports over exports. It more than doubled to 7.4 billion euros in June. Now, that's being attributed to that massive $9 billion fine paid by the French bank BNP Paribas. Now, that led to the bank reporting a loss of 4.3 billion euros in the second quarter. And according to the Banque de France, with these latest figures, it says that's the main reason that the whole country's economy has now been affected by that. Well, let's see how the markets are reacting to that news. It's a generally negative start here in Europe. You can see the CAC 40 in Paris opening down 0.2% there. Across Europe, though, the biggest gainer in the European markets is the jewellery maker Pandora, based in Denmark. Their shares up almost 8%. After reporting positive results. Over in Asia, investors were less worried than in recent days about the crisis in Ukraine and Iraq. Exporters helping the Nikkei in Japan into positive territory, but still some falls you can see on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong and the Shanghai Composite.
Right, well, we're going to stick with news from France because Paris might be empty of Parisians right now, but there are still plenty of tourists flocking here to the French capital and the country in general. Yeah,
that's right. New figures from the French government showing that France has kept its top spot as the world's #1 tourist destination in 2013, with almost 85 million visitors. Now, that's up 1.2% on 2012. The biggest boost was visitors from China, up 24% in the course of a year to 1.7 million last year. But the vast majority of visitors do still come from Europe. The figures do put France well ahead of its nearest rivals. The United States came in at fewer than 70 million visitors, while Spain had just over 60 million. Now, those may seem like very healthy figures, but for those working in the tourism industry here in France, they say it's not helping their business. Many complain that higher taxes are threatening their livelihoods. William Hildebrandt has more.
It's unlikely this holidaymaker loves the rain, but a sense of humor certainly doesn't hurt. Rain is dampening the ordinarily busy tourist season for hotels and restaurants. Storms on the southwest coast have already had a sizable effect. This small hotel was unable to rent any of its 7 rooms for the entire month of July.
Usually there'd be a lot of people from July 17th and on. And that wasn't the case this year. The people never came.
An empty restaurant terrace and a similar story. Though many say it's more than just high winds, it's high taxes. At the beginning of the year, food and drink VAT went from 7 to 10%.
There's only so high you can raise your prices to make up for it. No one would pay €20 for a pizza or 4 to get a coffee. So we try to adapt, but our profits get lower and lower. But the tax rate stays the same.
One of the largest unions in the hotel and restaurant industry says the sector is suffering from a deluge of taxes, including a levy paid per tourist per night.
People's vacations will be threatened, because the way we're overtaxed now, we can't create jobs, activities, or make new investments.
Government ministers are due to meet next month to discuss raising the hotel stay tax for 2015. So while tourism may be booming in France, the industry is struggling.
Let's take a quick look now at some of the day's other business stories, starting with the banana industry. And 2 Brazilian companies have made a bid for the US producer Chiquita, worth more than $610 million. It's a potentially major upset to a planned merger between Chiquita and its Irish rival Fifes. Safra and Cutrale are offering to pay cash instead of the all-stock deal offered by Fifes. Shares in Chiquita, though, jumped 30% on news of that new offer. The defence supplier BAE Systems has won a €430 million contract to supply new patrol ships to the British Navy. The 3 vessels will be built in Scotland, and the deal is expected to secure hundreds of jobs there. That news coming just weeks before Scotland is set to vote in an independence referendum. And the media company BuzzFeed has secured $50 million in new investment from venture capitalists. The cash injection from Andreessen Horowitz will be used to expand its video production unit and open new offices around the world. The deal values the site, best known for lists including 23 life-changing ways to eat chocolate chip cookies, at $850 million.
Do you know what any of those life-changing ways to eat chocolate chip cookies are?
I didn't have time to read them.
Okay.
But it's definitely on my list.
Some after-work revision for us all to do there. We're going to end up this business bulletin with news from a New York department store that's in hot water. It's having to pay up for racially profiling its customers. How so?
Yeah, this is Barney's in New York. They're having to pay more than $500,000 to settle claims that its store detectives unfairly targeted shoppers from ethnic minorities. Now, former employees and shoppers claim the detectives spent a disproportionate amount of time following certain consumers and checking their credit card transactions. The allegations is that they were undue scrutiny was based on race. In addition to the fines that Barney's agreed to pay, it's going to overhaul its security policy. That includes hiring an anti-profiling consultant to help retrain store detectives on how they do their jobs.
Well, I never. Thanks very much for bringing us that and the rest of the business news. Stephen Carroll there, our business editor. Let's move on to our international press review. Florence Vilmino has been thumbing through the international paper